that's a good one. Oh. Ooh. Ooh, yeah. I'm liking that. Look how red that is. All red and oxidized. So Ferguson, guys, was initially named Ferguson City and then St. David's, because the guy that founded it was named David Ferguson. He's an old prospector. So him and his three brothers founded the Trout mine up on the mountain there, Silver Cup Ridge. So, but David Ferguson, he started his own town and called it Ferguson. And like I said, it had a few names. It was Ferguson City and then St. David's, and then he settled on Ferguson. But the thing about Ferguson is it's up on a flat and it's a transition. It's basically a great staging area for guys going up into the mines. So Trout Lake City was kind of the big town, the big place. And then Ferguson, similar, and Camborne served the same purpose over where we were before. They served as staging areas. So guys would bring all their supplies up here, you know, do multiple runs to Trout Lake City if he needed, stash your stuff in Ferguson, and then go head up to those mountains, guys. All the mountains all around here, guys were prospecting, looking for free gold, heavy, nice free gold deposits here, guys. Similar to Braylorn, but the thing about the Lardeau is that they're shallow deposits, right? They don't go down very deep. So then this is... Okay, so that's 5 miles. So I'm just going to pull over here and get my bearings. So here we are, Ferguson, the flats. It's just up there, but as per usual, guys, I'm pretty sure people live up there, and I don't want to go skulking up there basically in someone's yard. Oh, that's a good one. Oh. Ooh. Ooh, yeah. I'm liking that. Look how red that is. All red and oxidized. And basically, guys, what's happening here is they're blasting the highway out and then just using the fill to kind of create this little pad. So the biggest thing when you're looking for ore, guys, is you want to find quartz, and then you want to find not just any kind of quartz, guys. Quartz that has nothing in it, like just pure white quartz. You don't want any of that. That stuff's no good. You want mineralized quartz. So like that right there, that's a good piece. Because the thing is, guys, when you blast out the highway, like you don't know what's going on, right? But they do. So there's tons of good quartz here, man. It's all red, oxidized. But that's what you want. Like if you're gonna find a big quartz vein and it's just bull quartz and there's nothing in it. Some of these are deep buried. I wonder what the boulders under here are hiding. You're just looking at the structure of the quartz. You see how this is more of a bull quartz? It's just white. And what quartz fundamentally is, guys, is hydrothermal fluid. We've got a whole bunch of different things going on, guys. We've got free golden quartz, which is a big one. We've got galena, which is a mix of silver, lead, zinc. You see how it's all white? The quartz. So you see how you've got the rock and then the quartz, and it's kind of gone in between the fissures in the rock. So that quartz is no good. This is not a good piece, guys. That means that no hydrothermal fluid that had gold bearing metals in it, or any metals at all, really. So like look at this piece. This is like a narrow piece of ridge. The mining that these guys were doing, guys, was taking place on these high ledges. So like we're behind Trout Lake City right now. So this mountain, Silver Cup Ridge, all along here, there were claims. Alice Jowett, the Foggy Day, the Triune, Ferguson, that was David Ferguson's claim. The Triune was a huge silver mine, huge. The Foggy Day was gold, silver, lead and zinc. That's decent, guys. That's a piece of pyrite there. If it glistens from one angle, it's pyrite. If it glistens from all angles, it's gold. When you're looking for gold, no matter which way you look at it, it'll shine regardless of what angle you look at it from. Pyrite will only shine from one angle. So when you're hard load prospecting, which is what this is, if you know what you're doing and you know where to go and you know where to look and you know what to look for, you can pretty much just pick up tailings, guys. This is what we're doing, right? It's all just rock tailings, but it's the same concept when you're mining hard load ore. You have a vein up atop that mountain and you have a vein of quartz. So free gold, guys, would be just chunks of gold sitting in the quartz. And the reason why they want free gold is it's easy to mill. The hardest thing with hard load ore, and the reason why hard rock prospecting and hard rock mining is not more popular for the common man, is because you need resources, guys. You need crushers. You need a truck. You need to know where to go. You need to have a claim. Let's see if I can find some veins here for quartz. Yeah, oh yeah, see right here. Vein of quartz. Now this one isn't as good. It's not really good at all, frankly, because if you like, and what you want to do is you want to get a jeweler's lube and look and basically see, right? It's a little, not much color, nothing free hanging, right? Just because there's pyrite, guys, doesn't mean pyrite is not a bad thing. You just don't want to get fooled by pyrite. The problem with pyrite is guys think it's gold when it's not gold. It's pyrite. Like I said, if it shines one direction, it's pyrite. If no matter what way you look at it, it glistens, that's gold. Pyrite is also soft. So if you take a pair of tweezers, like when you're picking gold out of your pan, if you take a pair of tweezers and do that, pyrite will crumble. You're like, oh, why is this gold crumbling? It's not gold, it's pyrite. In the Tulameen, when you're mining for platinum, I got this thing, I call it Fool's Platinum, which is mica. Because mica is silver and has it looks like it could be platinum, but it's Fool's Platinum, guys. You're not getting platinum, it's just pieces of mica that sit on the sand, right? If you go to some areas and they'd be like, mica's sitting all over the sand, and you're like, oh, you get all excited. It's not platinum, guys. Platinum, same thing as gold. It sinks to the bottom. Even in a flood scenario, no, it's not happening. What you want is, ooh, and that even breaks apart. You want something like that. This just fell apart because it's all fractured, right? Like two pieces like that. That's what you want. So, and there's a gold rush up here, and they were getting nuggets. Dave Ferguson, he was getting placer nuggets out of Ferguson Creek. All through these valleys, there's a little placer rush. So like the Lardeau's it has its hard load ore stuff, which is difficult for various different reasons that I keep trying to explain, but it's just such a wide story. It's hard to tell, guys. And then there's the hard rock. But like I said, a lot of times in modern day, guys, you'd be amazed the kind of stuff you find at the side of the highway. You also want to test the weight, guys. If you pick up a small rock and it's really heavy, that is a very good sign. Be mindful, guys. This is a logging road too. You're in logging road territory. 5 Mile is down that way, and then Ferguson is up that way, and then all the mines are over that way. So there's a lot kind of converging. There's a lot of convergence going on here. Hard rock prospecting it's a ratio thing, because you've got placer guys, you're sitting in the river, kneeling in the river, panning. Yeah, you get a few flakes, so it's not bad. It's a good day, maybe a nugget if you're lucky. But the thing about hard lode mining is that you get a few big pieces together, right, that weigh a couple pounds. All of a sudden, even if like 0.5% of that is good, you're making some good coin. That's why they call placer mining poor man's mining, because you don't need much other than just a popcorn bowl and a shovel. This is the view we're currently being graced with. So now we're gonna head back down Ferguson FSR, and we're gonna talk a little bit about Trout Lake City, Alice Jowett, a little bit more about Lardeau Pioneers. So this is Ferguson. So it's nice here, man. But the mines were all up on the side of the mountain. Triune, Silver Cup were the big ones. Foggy day as well, like I said, give you guys a couple, right? Look them up, you'll see there's 40, 50 claims staked up on the mountain, guys. So a lot of the guys that were settling up here were Americans. There's a lot of Americans, because Americans have the hard rock prospects. Like, they're good hard rock prospectors. Even back then, they were really like Nevada, Arizona. A lot of that's hard rock. We in BC have a lot of placer mining, but placer, that's a big drop. Placer mining, that's a very big drop. It's like that's like a good 1,000 feet. This is the guy at the gas station. You always ask the locals too, guys, when you're coming up here, how the roads are. They usually know, they got the mail out. He said there was construction here and it was blowing out, so that's good. So, but yeah, in the power wagon, not a problem at all. A lot of rocks on this road. So apparently the bridge connecting to Camborne was blown out, which sucks. I thought it was further up past Camborne that the blowout was, but it is what it is, guys. We're not going to Camborne, I guess. But 5 Mile, which is just down that logging road, about another couple clicks, that's another staging area for the mines, right? All the mines up on Silver Cup Ridge. As well, Circle City, guys. You continue north, head up this valley for, I think it's about 19 miles north of Trout Lake, heading up Ferguson Road. Like, not all the way up the road, but up the valley. That's what Circle City. That was kind of a promoter's dream that never came to be. Like I said, guys, we're gonna pass through Duncan City. Same thing. They had issues though with that because they had mail service. All their mail went to Duncan. it could be on the island, because the Lardeau had this weird thing of like constantly having names that had issues with postal service, because they all seemingly picked the same names for things. This was a staging area, so you would have wagon roaded this. So Andrew Craig and all those stagecoach guys, they would have had their wagons hauling supplies up. And then Ferguson and 5 Mile would be pack trains. You'd be taking pack trains all the way up to the mountain. And they installed a tramway at the Trout mine, and one of the packers, he tied the tons of cable to each one of his horses or donkeys. So like the weight was distributed evenly and tied them all together, so they were all like tethered to the cable, and then proceeded to take these like 200 animals up the mountain to the Trout mine, where they could actually drop the cable off. But then it got destroyed the first winter that it was in service. And this whole time there's like powerhouses, old mills. A lot of that stuff is gone now, right? It doesn't really exist anymore. Time kind of did away with it. But you've been seeing a rock outcroppings, guys. Always check for those rock outcroppings at the side of the highway. You'd be surprised the stuff you can find there. It's great too. It's just side of the highway. All the work is done, guys. It's already been done for you. The blasting's been done. So like this rock outcropping, good to analyze. Always just take a look, guys. Like I said, if it's white quartz, move on. Don't even worry about it. If it's quartz that's showing color, that's when you want to investigate. So that was back in the day. Hard rock mining was where you get real serious money doing hard rock. Like Volcanic Brown's claim in Copper Mountain, he cleaned up nice. Anyways, it seems like the road's getting wider again, so we're just heading down the mountain now, back into Trout Lake. Okay guys, so Trout Lake, here we are. Alpine Lake, guys. It's a deep lake. It's about 800 feet. So you see that north side of the valley? We're gonna go along a whole bunch of switchbacks, dirt road switchbacks, all the way along across Trout Lake. Now back in the day, there would have been stern wheelers here. So just try to see the vision, guys, of this epic saga that occurred. Early 1890s, prospectors started coming up here, and then the CPR started building their infrastructure, and that was it, right? Lake steamers, railways. The steamer would just come down Trout Lake, guys. It would go from Girard, which is the other side of Trout Lake. You would get on the steamer at Girard, and you would come all the way down this lake to Trout Lake City. Then at Trout Lake City, you would take the wagon road, the road that we just followed, all the way to either Ferguson and 5 Mile. From there, you could go up to your claims and prospecting, or you could continue further and take the wagon road, the beaten road, to Beaton and Camborne. Because there's free gold that I was showing you guys way up high in the mountains there in both Camborne and Ferguson area. So Ferguson area also has placer gold. But what I was saying before, the reason these mines never really panned out or anything came of them was because look how high it is up there, and look at the snow. Look where the snow is right now. There's still a decent snowpack up at the top of those mountains. So you're a miner, you're a prospector, you want to work your claim, right? All you want to do is just get in there, you just start drilling, start blasting, get your ore. Well, there's a whole slew of problems with that. You're going to go up there and trudge through 3 feet of snow in the Alpine? No, probably not. Same thing like up at the Teddy Glacier mine in Camborne there. Way, way high up, right at the top of the peak, guys, right above the timberline. Everything had to be shipped in. Firewood, cables. And like, okay, so we're drilling, let's say we get up there, we're ready to go, right? We got a fresh season, let's go, let's get some more. So now, where are we just we're gonna single double deck, and that's how we're gonna drill? Or are we gonna get a compressor set up? Are we gonna get air? Are we gonna get power? Are we gonna get a mill going? Like, are we gonna aerial tram it down? There was aerial tramways going all the way down the mountain for the longest time. Like, you listen to Bill Barley talk about this area in Gold Trails and Ghost Towns, and he said, like, oh yeah, you can still see everything, like the mills. This was, in the 80s, right? So it's been 45 years since that, but even back then you could still see remnants of it. But now everything's overgrown and time's taken its course, right? As is the case with pretty much everything in the world. The difficulty of mining in the high alpine, guys, because like I was telling you, it's all ledges. That's why I was saying, like, keep your eyes peeled for float, guys, in the Lardeau, because float is just basically chunks that have fallen off and are just like lying at the side of the highway now. There's a lot going on in this area. It's transportation, gold mining, silver mining, lead and zinc mining, power generation, milling, logging. They even tried farming here for a bit, but the winters here are brutal, guys. Snow can last till late May and starts in October, and you get 20 feet of snow here easily. Like Stewart, very cold winters, very harsh, long, dark, cold winters. But in the summertime, it's great. So anyways, guys, we're just at Trout Lake here. We're gonna go through Trout Lake City. We're gonna look at the Windsor. That's kind of the last big thing in Trout Lake City I wanna find, tell you guys a bit about Alice Jowett. And then we're gonna hit the highway. Okay guys, so here we are, the Windsor Hotel, all original, hasn't burnt down in a fire, thank God. It's been changed a few times because building codes and, you know, safety and all of that, I guess, nowadays. So they've changed it quite a bit. The inside's been remodeled, but it used to be one of the best hotels in the land. People came from all over to visit the Windsor and see Alice. This was kind of the place to stay in this area, run by Alice Jowett. She bought it from the original owner and then ran it for many years, guys. When miners would come to check in here, they would check in under their claim. So you look at the names for all the guys where they're checking in and where they're from. It was their claim, guys. Your mine or your claim was your residency, right? So when guys came to get hotels, they would just put their claim in. But Alice Jowett, guys, she was a prospector. She was one of the few lady prospectors. There was a few, but Alice Jowett was special. She was a badass woman, guys. She lived to about 101, 102, died in Kelowna in the 50s. But she was able to, for the last few years of her life, enjoy plane flight, guys, because she spent most of her life packing stuff to and from her claims on pack horse, guys. She was in her 80s riding up the mountain, checking out her claim, and then eventually people were like, it's, you know, you got to stop. And so she stopped for a bit, but then they started flying her over. But Alice Jowett, she was the matriarch of the town, guys. Her ashes are spread somewhere in around Ferguson. She wanted to lay to rest here. This was her home. And the Windsor Hotel, when she was running it, everything was always tip top. Like all her silverware was exquisite. Her food was next level. She kind of took care of everybody, but she also had, you know, the foggy day and her mines and just basically the big old mama of the town pretty much. And she lived a good life. She died in her hundreds. I think she's 101. Right at the end of her life, she couldn't do it anymore. But for most of her life, guys, she was up in these mountains prospecting. And so it's just nice to mention her because, you know, women were a huge part of the gold rush in that old pioneer history, but not in the way that she was. She was a prospector and quite a successful one. One of the more successful prospectors out of all of the men that came out here. And she did all her own work too, packed her ore out on her horse, like did it all herself and ran this hotel at the same time. It's changed now. It's quieter now. It used to be open all year, every year, 24/7, right? That was her, like, that's just, she was that kind of a person, right? It was just, it never closed. She was always around. But then, you know, modern day happens, right? And the whole inside's changed. It's supposedly haunted, whether you believe in that or not. It's an old hotel, right? From the 1890s. This is one of the first hotels in the Lardeau. And, you know, Trout Lake City had many, many hotels like this at one point. But then, as time is, right? They always just fall by the wayside. But Alice Jowett, guys, the foggy day, gold, silver, lead, and zinc, the baker, the matriarch, the incredible prospector, and just awesome woman, frankly. It's not like she was awesome. It would have been cool to have known her and talked to her, stay at her hotel. Alrighty, guys, so here we are. This is Highway 31, believe it or not. This is welcome to British Columbia, everybody. This is a highway in British Columbia. Well, you know what? The dirt road highways aren't too bad, guys. This is graded. It's nice. It's not too narrow at all, really. The roads here are fine, guys. There's way worse roads. Frankly, the Okanagan Similkameen has some of the worst forest service roads I've ever seen. This is great. But we're climbing up the mountain now. We're going to go around several switchbacks, and then we're going to go just literally across Trout Lake on the old wagon road. So this was the old wagon road, and once we get across the lake, we'll be at Girard, which was where the railway ended. And the railway was supposed to go further. Only 1/3 of the railway was ever built, just because there was all this buzz about the Lardeau and the riches of the Lardeau and the, you know, gold and all that stuff, right? The romance of it all. But then reality sunk in, and people realized it's just too hard here. It's too rugged. It's too nature hems you in. Same thing with the logging guys, like in the Nkamaplu. The valley bottoms are gutted, but you look up high, none of that stuff's been touched, because those loggers, as hardy as they are, they're not going up to the top of that mountain to, it's just, how are you gonna get the tree down, right? It's not economical. The more difficult something is to get out, the less economically feasible it becomes. And from a business case standpoint in mining, if you're spending all of your money to get the ore out, the ore has to be worth a certain amount. And like at some of these mines, they would only pick the select best pieces of ore, guys, because they couldn't afford to send anything that wasn't spectacular, because it's just the prices of everything made it too expensive. So there is riches in the Lardeau, but you can only access them for like 2 months of the year. It's very hard work. It's very tricky. You have to know what you're doing. You have to have experience. You have to know how to find the hard rock. Kind of like what I was showing you, but on steroids, basically. And actually do it in the bush with trees and everything around you. So it never came to be. It just kind of faded, and then everything was kind of left to be as it is now. But this is basically the same as it was, guys. Like the fact that Trout Lake didn't have power until 1997, that blew my mind a little bit when the guy in the gas station said that. Because I was like, oh, you have the manual gas pumps, the old 1915 gas pumps. And he's like, yeah, well, we didn't have power here until 1997. So he's like, how would we have a digital gas pump or an electric gas pump? And I'm like, true, man. Yeah, like that's awesome that you guys are still doing that, because not everybody is doing that anymore, right? It's the first 1915 gas pump I've seen in my life. So the steamer would have gone all the way along Trout Lake, and this is the old wagon road trail, also logging roads. Loggers make lots of roads for us, guys. I love loggers because they help me get around the bush using their roads, and they build good road too, guys. But this was a dirt trail, wagon road trail. So we're just going around the switchbacks. This chunk of road is only about 20 minutes, guys. You can get 2 cars in here. Some of the turns are a little not as wide. There's little rocks, but there's tons of pullouts. If you're afraid of heights, definitely don't look to the right. As the driver, I don't look to the right. So. This was the bush trail. The best way to do this is the ferry. That was in the heyday, though, like I said, guys. Everything was a much bigger deal back in the day. Everything to us is just so unspecial now. It's kind of depressing. People back in the day, like a stern wheeler ride on the lake, that was a real event, guys. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell icon to get notified. And Sasquatch Prospector out.